assuming. Very, very not the best morning at all. No, it was actually really, really bad. So today I'm gonna actually sleep like super early. Like I need to sleep like 1 to 2 hours early. I'm awake right now because this morning has just been so terrible. Dude, this morning was pretty bad, honestly. I almost hit a parked car. It was really bad. Like literally, I was about to hit a parked car, but luckily, well, not luckily, but you know, I was assisted. Someone grabbed the wheel for me and it moved me a bit and woke me up as well. So yeah, nearly hit the thing, nearly hit the parked car, but I appreciate it. Thank you. And then obviously, I spent like 5 minutes trying to fix this camera. This tripod thinks the tripod's ball head is not very good, honestly. And the ball head's fine. It's just the actual like bottom attachment that's super wobbly. Like it doesn't want to stay straight. So yeah. Also, the car park today is super quiet. It's only like two people here. All I know is that it was really this morning's really bad. We need to sleep earlier. I ended the treatment earlier. I was gonna fall asleep, but I went on my phone and see because I was trying to see what kind of tripods I could replace this morning. Apparently, there's no other good tripods, but the thing is that this tripod's bull head. No, it's not the bull head. It's the part. The stupid. Like, why is it so wobbly? I just fixed the tripod by just tightening the hell out of this one knob on the tripod, and I actually just fixed it. So there's no point of getting another tripod because I just fixed it. Yeah, but we need to sleep really, really early today. There's no way we will make it. It's a very good warning sign this morning. I'm probably just gonna give you guys a story video today. About tightening the tripod part has actually made the problem go away. All I had to do was just tighten it to the max. Okay. Okay, so tripod's done, I guess. Alright, so I should probably talk about this morning because this morning was a bit quiet. So basically, what happened was, this morning the sleep was it was not good. Okay, the sleep was so good that no, not sleep was good. The sleep was so bad that on the way to the gym here, I literally nearly crashed into a parked car, but luckily I'm not allowed to die. So it kind of just moved my hand a bit, and then I woke up and then just got here. But it was really dangerous. It's not the first time this has happened either, so we're really just gonna have to sleep super early today. We'll try at least. And we're gonna drink a lot of water too. I also only did half of the cardio today as well. So pretty much this morning, I spent like nearly 4 minutes trying to fix this tripod. Oh no, I was trying to make the bull head line up properly. Well, not bull head, the attachment below the bull head that like measures its straightness or something. But it was just super wobbly, and I just took out my phone and did research. Searched online what other tripods are there, but as a guy fixed this one, so it doesn't matter anymore. Okay, what is done? Now the reason why I served the mascot, well, why not? I guess. Yeah. So when it comes to aberration yesterday, that's very good. We did lots of progress. Aberration was good yesterday, but we also did a tiny bit of silent Overwatch. It's a very silent one. And that was basically what we did yesterday. Basically what we did. Now, do I want to drink a second water bottle? Also, no, yeah, the reason we had to try to skip things early today is because there's also hunting and fishing within 2 hours, like, of right now, just the hunting and fishing. So I really have to, like, step up my thing. I need, like, try wake up. Actually, I could have actually stepped earlier today, this last night. The reason I didn't is because I decided to edit a little short. It's fine. Got to continue drinking water. Also, I'm pretty sure it's literally done an hour here. There's literally no one here. Yeah, it is. It's just done an hour right now. I'm not surprised. No, yeah, I actually am a bit surprised. I think there's some kind of party today because on the way on the way here, I saw a lot of like university people on the streets like drinking and stuff. So maybe that's where majority of the people are. Some kind of party or something. I don't really know. Mm, they can do them, do it if you want. Okay, we're gonna slow down on the wood for a bit because I think we're drinking a bit too fast. Yeah, so we're gonna have to do Alpha Theory regime today. Yeah, no, I don't know what I'm gonna do today. Hold on, no, I do. I'm gonna finish. We did short cardio. We do the dips and then Alpha Theory regime, and then I'm really gonna have to just try see if I can prep for the fishing and hunting, or data work, or just eat. And I'm pretty happy that we fixed the tripod problem, but the tripod problem's fixed now, and that's good. Yeah, it's just nothing to talk about. I'm gonna just give you guys a story video today. Gonna just have to. Just give you guys the water zone. Anyways, when it comes to might be touching extinction today, maybe. I'll see how it goes. Anyway, since we're gonna be hunting and fishing, all of the rendering and stuff on the PC should be having extra time to render everything, so that's good. And we're done now. There's a lot faster today. Now we just need to head back to HQ and lock in. I have a suspicion that we might get knocked out in Upper Theory, but if we do get knocked out, it was probably needed. 70.85. Must have been the double chicken breast that was heavy. You know what I mean? We did eat some chicken breast yesterday. Didn't even eat any fish. Didn't eat any fish. Wow, fixing that tripod definitely helped. Okay, Jimmy. Appreciate it again. Alright, I know today's a bit short. But yeah, that's why we need to really just work on the sleep. Back in the day, we used to wake up earlier than the alarm, like just naturally. But I guess we've just been not. I guess we just, yeah, you know what I mean? Okay. See you guys next time. I'll just give you guys a story video, yeah? Lock in.
Hello guys, welcome back. Alright, so I did say I was gonna give you guys a story video today, so yeah, lock in, right? We just came back from like 7 hours of like outdoors, so showered, we're chilling, we're relaxed, alright? Time to do story 3, the last one of 3 true stories about siblings. Now, the last story before was pretty good. Now this story here is about 20 minutes. Lock in, let's go. See what this is about, shall we?
My name's Abby. I'm from the UK, and I've been a fan of yours for quite some time.
So what was that?
now. My name's Abby.
Avi.
I'm from the UK, and I've been a fan of yours for quite some time now. I try to check out the live streams whenever possible, and I love the banter between you and the viewers, but they're often too late for me to hang around for long. Don't change them on my account, I'm just saying. Now anyway, the reason I'm writing to you today is because, well, my brother disappeared. I'd always hoped that I'd never have any reason to write to you, and I should probably say now that my brother's disappearance won't be like any you've read about before, because technically, he hasn't disappeared. It just feels like he has. So my brother's name is Theo, and he was always a bit of a moody one. His favorite film when he was little was Kidulthood, a film about gangs in London, and then he was mad into Top Boy when that came out too. He once got in trouble for skipping school to go home and watch Battle Royale when our mum walked in on him watching
Am I
it.
tripping on none of those names I understood? Let's see. Might need to get some context here, because like what?
For skipping was mad into Top Boy when that Adulthood, a film about gangs in London. So my brother's name is Little was Kidulthood, always a bit of a moody one. His favorite film when he was little was Kidulthood.
Kidulthood film. Oh, okay. I don't want to look. Just show me the. What is it about? Kidulthood is a 2006 British teen crime drama film in 2006.
A film about gangs in London. And then he was mad into Top Boy when that came out too.
Top Boy movie. Top Boy. Top G? Top Boy, a British crime drama thriller TV series.
He once got in trouble for skipping school to go home and watch Battle Royale.
Battle Royale. Fortnite. A Japanese dystopian action film. Oh my goodness. See, okay. Battle Royale is some kind of... Okay, so this guy, he watches Kidulthood, which is what? A movie about crime. Top Boy, another crime. And this thing, which is like something. In a dystopian future, a group of students from Japanese high school are forced by the government to compete in battle, killing one another until only one is left standing. Okay.
When our mum walked in on him watching it. And she double panicked because not only was he skipping school, but he was doing it to watch these crazy violent films where Japanese schoolgirls get machine gunned.
Japanese schoolgirls get machine gunned. Oh. Oh, so they grabbed a bunch of kids and then put them into like a Fortnite game. Makes sense. I am looking very majestic. I'm joking. That's totally not horrifying. Yo, imagine waking up to a girl like that. GG. It's over. I mean, it sounds terrifying, but I can't take this film seriously when I know that, you know, Fortnite exists. PUBG, Fortnite. Okay. Battle Royale, you know. It sounds, I mean, hey, dropping a bunch of teenage Japanese students into a Battle Royale, right? It doesn't even sound terrifying because, like, you know, your boy's been through many Battle Royales in my past. All right, lock in.
But as our dad said, boys will be boys. He seemed to mellow out a bit once he reached year 9, which I think is like 8th or 9th grade over
Year
there.
9?
Because
okay, he's year 9? So he just started high school. He just started high school.
he had to focus on his GCSE exams. He loved reading about history, so that was by far his strongest subject, and he liked doing Shakespearean plays in English too. All his teachers thought that he'd get good enough grades to continue on to A level, so we were all really excited about the idea of him going off to uni somewhere. And
Bro, he's year 9. He's still got like 10, 11, 12, 13. Relax, he's only year 9.
having all the fun associated with that. But then, right at the moment of truth, just as exam week started, Theo decided that he didn't want to sit them. Mom managed to convince him to sit his history exam and do his biology and English exams so he at least had the grades to do his A-levels. But when his results came back, I think he got a D and 2 E's.
A. E is for excellence. Good job.
And so to Mom, Dad, and even his teachers, it was like Theo hadn't even tried. I remember the big argument that erupted on results day. How Dad said, "What were you thinking? Do you know how much resits are going to cost?" Theo's response came in 3 stock lines. "I don't care, I'm not bothered, and what's the point?"
Valid points. I don't care. Okay, you don't care. What's the reason? Oh no, what was it? What did he say?
Stock lines. "I don't care, I'm not bothered,
He's not bothered. He doesn't care.
and what's the point?"
What's the point? Good point. What is the point?
And her parents decided that there must be something wrong with him, like mentally or emotionally, and so they sorted him out with a visit from a psychologist
GG. He got put into therapy. It's over.
or psychotherapist, I can never remember which.
Therapy.
And then after a few weeks of sessions, the women told Mom and Dad that
It's a
Theo
woman as
was
well.
suffering
Sorry,
from-
I'm being misogynist. It was a woman as well. GG, right? Parents sent him to therapy. Therapist is a woman. GG, right? It's over.
from some kind of depression, as well as
What was that?
told Mom and Dad that Theo was suffering from some kind of depression,
Depression's not real. Oh, it's over. He's gone. He's gone. It's over. Too late. Year 9. You know, if you listen to someone else, he would have been G. You know, don't go to school, chilling. You know, being chilling. But his parents put him into therapy from a woman, and now he's depressed. Or they diagnosed him with depression, even though it's not real. It's over for him. GG. R.I.P. man.
as well as a serious sort of behavioral disorder. The psychologist woman recommended he undergo some therapies, and he was going to all these doctors to talk with them, do some
Oh.
brain exercises,
Let me guess. Take some drugs as well. It's over. GG.
and to write down all of his feelings.
Oh, his
He
feelings.
was put on antidepressants too,
Antidepressants, drugs, GG. It's over. It's over. It's GG. He didn't make it. Not all anomalies. He started to be an anomaly, but it's too late. He got caught out. R.I.P.
and while he didn't want to take them at first, all it took was a talk with our dad who convinced him to just try them. And
Oh
Theo
my-
seemed only too happy to take them. It wasn't transformational, and we were warned that the process might seem painfully slow, but over the next couple of weeks, I started noticing improvements. He started leaving the house again, mostly just to the shops and back, but it was still an improvement, and we hoped that he might start seeing his school friends again because at least 2 of their families live within cycling distance of our house. But
Bro, he's year 9. Why are you putting him on antidepressants already? What's wrong with this family? It's over. Year 9? Antidepressants? Therapy? Just because he's a bit rebellious? That's a bit too much. I ain't gonna lie. He's just a bit rebellious, you know? He doesn't want to follow the school system. Let him be. But nah, just put him on drugs. Therapist, you know, everything that Sensei told us to avoid. R.I.P. man. Maybe he doesn't have Sensei.
Theo said that he wasn't interested in seeing them anymore because they didn't have anything in common. We were all quite sad to hear that, but Dad wasn't that bothered by it. He said teenage boys could be fickle and emotionless and reminded us all that all teenage groups get disrupted by the end of secondary school.
R.I.P. Group of high school boys. It is what it is. Moment one person gets a girl, it's over. People start studying too much. GG. You know, back in the day, boys, high school boys together, just gaming every day, gaming every night. Everyone shows up on Discord, you know? Good old days. But as people get older, different ecosystems split, different cultures split. GG, right? It is what it is. That's just life.
Theo falling out with his friends was concerning, but in the grand scheme of things, he was doing much better. He made an okay point, I suppose. Theo had been leaving the house more and more, and in addition to getting himself a gym membership. And then as time
Okay. Good. Gym membership. Very good.
went by, He landed a part-time job stacking shelves in a supermarket and started talking to a whole new group of friends.
New
But not in
ecosystem?
person, only online. I say not in person, as he did end up going to see some of them not long after his 17th birthday, but for the most part they
Well, that's crazy. He's not even 18 years old and he's already on antidepressants.
either talked via social media or in group chats whenever they were playing Xbox games together,
He's still playing Xbox?
probably. And Theo would end up getting really loud with him sometimes, laughing and making jokes or shouting in excitement whenever they were playing shooting games together.
That sounds like the life right there. Chilling with the boys, Xbox, shouting, screaming. Sounds pretty normal to me. Sounds pretty good to me, actually. You know? Gaming with the boys, shouting out loud. Hey, not bad.
It was really annoying, but me and our parents were so happy to see him socializing and having fun that most of the time we just sort of put up with it.
Yeah.
And by the time Theo turned 17, he was doing way better than before. I mentioned that trip that he made to see his friends, but he joined a club too, a shooting club, and at first, Dad wasn't best pleased about
The shooting club?
this. He ended up driving Theo over one day and talking to the man in charge, and then he got back and seemed completely reassured. Dad said that the guy running it was ex-army, a little bulldog of a man who said discipline, respect, and safety were his top concerns. He didn't let any idiots into his shooting club because his life quite literally depended on that.
Sounds even more G. Join a shooting club? Run by ex-military man? What's the problem with that? I mean, I wouldn't know because New Zealand obviously has no such thing as shooting club. But I have shot a gun before in the military, in the cadet program, so something like that, I guess. But the one I joined was part of like an actual military from New Zealand. But
And so when he said that Leo was quiet, respectful, and took safety very seriously, he was only too happy to have him around. This made Dad really proud, and to us it seemed like the end of a very long and very dark chapter in Theo's life.
bro, y'all acting like he's only 17 years old. You're acting like that chapter where you put him into like therapy was like a big bro. He's not even 18 yet. Relax. That phase of his what? So you're telling me that he's like a little bit rebellious in year 9, and then you put him into therapy, put him into antidepressants, and now he's grown up a tiny bit, chilling with the boys, playing Xbox, got a part-time job, shooting club. Sounds pretty normal to me. I think they're exaggerating over the year 9 phase, right? Like, bro. Sorry, bro. It's like, you're year 9. A little bit of rebellion, all goods, you know? A little teasing of the teachers, a little trolling. We do a little trolling, you know? Sounds pretty normal to me.
But then came the night that we were all sitting down for dinner, and everything seemed to just fall apart before our very eyes.
What do you mean?
Theo had been to shooting club that evening, which usually had him in a good mood. But that evening he seemed a bit subdued. When Dad asked him what the matter was, Theo said that he was getting sick of his job. And then when Dad suggested getting him some hours at his place, he said, "Only idiots work jobs like that for no money." And there was a clatter of cutlery as Dad put his knife and fork down, and then after looking over at Theo, he said, "And what's that supposed to mean?" And that's all I can remember word for word, honestly, because after that, Theo and Dad started going back and forth about how much money he was earning, with Theo saying some pretty horrible things about what he called wages, or...
Oh, he called his dad a wagey. He called his dad a wagey. Oh. Called his dad a wagey. A brokey. Oh. So, that's...
wage slaves.
Wage slave. He called his dad a wage slave. I mean... it is what it is, right? Called his dad a wage slave. He's trying to break out. His anomaly is still there. I could sense he's still a bit of an anomaly. He's got it though.
And the only thing that really stands out in memory, amid a lot of shouting about stuff I just didn't understand, was when Dad said, "Well, what are you gonna do with your life then?" And then...
Oh wait, this guy's trying to escape. What's his name? I wasn't listening to his name, but the brother, he's trying to escape. He's trying to escape. I could sense it in him. He's trying to escape, and his parents are. Oh wow! Like this is a story about. Wait, this guy's an anomaly. He's an anomaly. He's trying to escape, and he's got textbook parents. You know. Therapy, depression, antidepressants, right? Dad's a wagey. Or they. He's trying to escape the slave programming. Oh wait, true, because these two films here are also somewhat about escaping, except I will say that these two movies, they're talking about crime. So obviously there's multiple ways of escaping. I guess crime is one way to escape, but that's not what Sensei taught us. But I can understand that anomalies can also lead to that.
Whatever Theo said in reply sent Dad ballistic. Me and Mom had left the room by this point just to give them some space. But then Theo came bursting out of the kitchen with my dad behind him shouting, "Well, I'm not having you living here if you're going to talk like that.
Ooh.
You got a month to move out, and at the end of it, you can go F off." Theo didn't end up moving out at the end of the month. He and Dad had a talk and worked things out. And they agreed Theo was well in the wrong for saying the stuff about Dad's job, and in light of that, he could stay as long as he wanted. But ever since that night when Dad and Theo had that big argument, it was like I noticed how much he changed. He'd always been my little brother, by 5 years, by the way, but watching him grow up...
5 years? Wait, this has to be a girl, right? This must be an older sister, because if it was an older brother, he'll back him up. But bro, little bro, you and me, this is obviously an older sister. So, a 5 years older sister.
Always been a joy to me. It was hard watching him go through his depression, and I was proud of him watching him drag himself out of it.
Bro, he was depressed in year 9. It's only year 9. You can't say he's depressed in year 9. It's not even real.
But while he'd always been a bit more inclined to all things weird and spooky, he'd always been quite positive and kind-hearted. Whereas after the depression, there was a new and strange sort of nastiness about him. He only seemed to laugh
this is a story from a woman. It's from his older sister. Of course it sounds annoying.
at sort of really negative or terrible things, and the sort of joyfulness
His older sister's a Karen. I can tell you that.
he once had about him seemed to just be gone. He spent more and more time online, and whenever I walked into his room, he'd always changed his screen really quick and act all impatient till I left.
Fair enough.
Or sometimes he'd just shout at me to go away, even when I knocked first to give him his privacy.
Fair enough. Get out.
Now, I remember being quite sad and talking to Mum about it, and she reassured me by saying my Uncle Robbie was a nightmare when he was a teenager.
If I was a little brother, I'd be like this. Yo, I'm 17 years old. You're 5 years older than me. What are you doing here still? You living with mom and dad? You're 20 years old. You're getting old. You're getting old, Nissan. Getting a bit older, are you? Yeah. 5 years older than me. I'm 17 years old. You're in your 20s? TikTok, time's ticking. What you doing here talking to me? Alright, it is what it is, right?
Then grew into a sweater vest wearing florist, and a thoroughly charming fellow at that. And Theo would grow out of it sooner or later anyway, and when he did, we'd all be better off for it, and we just had to be patient. A few more months came and went, with Theo having settled into the rhythm of going to work, going to shooting club, and then playing video games with his mates till late at night.
Sounds pretty chill.
He'd start taking driving lessons finally, which Mum and Dad were really excited about.
Nice.
But other than that, he'd spent all of his time in his bedroom.
That sounds fine. Go to work, stack up his assets, okay? Go to shooting club, hang out with, demand him, chill. Then game with the boys all night. He is 17 years old now. Let's keep it real here. He doesn't have like he's still 17, right? But he's got a job, shoot with demand him, play games with the boys at night. That's all a man needs, right? Like, what else is he supposed to do? He's chilling. He's working, shooting guns with a military man, and a group of them, manned him. Nice. Gaming with the boys at night. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. That sounds pretty nice. I'm not gonna lie.
We hardly ever saw him for days at a time sometimes, and Dad started jokingly referring to him as the Shadow.
He's a shadow in your ecosystem. Because obviously, what is he gonna do with his 5 years older sister? He's got nothing to say to you. He's got nothing to say to the mum. He ain't got much to say to his dad. So he's just in his own ecosystem. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, I can see how he's a ghost, but that's only because he's got nothing to say to you guys. You ain't gonna game with him. You ain't going to shooting club with him. You ain't working him with his job. You're basically not in his ecosystem. He's just chilling there.
But there were no more racist outbursts or anything like that while
Racist?
gaming. Just the usual aloofness and an almost constant need to be left alone. And I suppose that was our mistake, leaving him alone.
He's not alone though. He's chilling with the Mandim and with the boys online. He's fine. He's happy. He's fine. Just because he's not spending time with you doesn't mean he's alone.
We should have been more involved in his life, especially after he said those horrible things about.
He's chilling. Oh my, this Karen sister's like, oh my god, he needs to talk more with us. Yo, he's a ghost, bro. He's chilling with the Mandim. He's chilling with the boys. Like, he's fine.
About people who worked for a living. But Dad really did think that he'd talked him away from a dark place when they patched things up after their little argument. Well, it turns out he was wrong. Theo hadn't moved on from it. He was just masking, as my Gen Z nephew likes to say.
Gen Z nephew. Masking? Oh, he's hiding? Masking? I never understood that.
I'll never forget the night that I woke up to the sound of this terrible crashing sound coming from downstairs. And it was like these slow but heavy banging sounds, and just from the noise alone you could tell it was coming from our front door. Thinking the house was being burgled, I jumped out of bed, threw on my robe, and then ran to my dad's room to wake him up. He was already up, obviously. Everyone in the house was. And when I met him on the landing, he had his baseball bat in his hand, the one he kept under his bed. Now, he was ready to face down any burglars who smashed their way in, or to at least keep them from coming up the stairs. But no sooner had he called out that there were people in the house, someone cried back, "Armed police," as the door burst open and a load of policemen with guns came pouring into our house from outside. They made me...
Let me guess. The shooting club? The Mandim? They've been doing crimes. Oh, wait. That shooting club. Yeah, that wasn't a shooting club, was it? It's probably just an actual gang. It probably was a gang. You know? Probably, it definitely was. Matter of fact, that's the UK. How is there a shooting club? It wasn't a shooting club, it was a gang.
Mum and Dad come down the stairs, but Theo hadn't come out of his room. And then as a few policemen started looking around downstairs, a load more ran up the stairs to Theo's room. I didn't see it myself, but I later heard that they found him destroying his computer. Or at least trying to, because from what I understand, you can always pull stuff off of a computer drive even when it's damaged.
Rookie mistake. You're trying to wipe his PC. If you're trying to destroy a PC and remove the data... Oh, yeah, you're gonna have to, like, go on YouTube and search up how to factory reset your PC. You're not gonna remember it. If I were to destroy my PC right now... No, this is not... Hey, if you try to do that with me... Just take my hard drives. That's all the information in anyways. Matter of fact, it's already online. The YouTube channel.
They took him away with my mum crying, and Dad asked what was going on, and I just couldn't believe what I was seeing. My kid brother being carted off in handcuffs by police with big guns and...
He must have said the N-word on Twitter. He must have said something racist online. It's the UK. Of course they're gonna arrest him for saying... He probably said some... You guys seen that in the UK? He must have said the F word. He must have said faggot. Or he must have said like a... He must have said something like hurty hurt to the... Oh, yeah. He must have just said something like insensitive on Twitter. He must have said like... He must have said like gays should... He said something, you know? He probably talked shit about the Alphabet Gang. Makes sense. That actually happens in the UK, by the way. Talk smack to the UK. Talk smack to the Alphabet Gang. You're arrested. GG. Ah, he got caught. They got him.
Body armor and helmets. It looked like they were going off to fight a war or something, but they'd come to our house for my little brother.
Yeah, he said
But
that.
why?
He said a bad word to the gays. Yeah, he must have said, "Don't teach the little kids gay stuff." Jail straight away. Ah, they got him.
All we wanted to know as the police were taking him away was why they'd felt it was necessary to smash their way into our home to drag away a 17-year-old.
Because he said something bad online. Duh. He said faggot. Not allowed. He said gays should something. Of course the police are gonna come with arms. It's very dangerous. You don't know how the UK works? That's how the UK works, right? He must have said something about the government. Ah, they got him. That sounds pretty normal, right? Of course the police would come in with guns and shields and body armor, right? He said a bad word online. Of course. That's happened. That actually happens though. Like, I'm not even joking. That literally happens in the UK. According to X, of course.
We were entitled to know, so they had to tell us once the scene was secure. But then they did, and it really did feel like the words alone knocked the wind out of us, because Theo had been arrested under suspicion of planning the importation of drugs, firearms, and even explosives.
Oh.
Mom and Dad were stunned, but they got Theo a solicitor right away, and it was through him that they found out exactly what he was being charged with. The charges alone were bad enough, but when they found out that he was looking at literally decades in prison, Mom nearly had a breakdown. And that's why Theo had been learning to drive. Not because he wanted a car so he was free to get around, but so he could rent a big moving-style truck, drive it down to Calais, and pick up a huge shipment intended for a local gang, who in turn were going to use it to wage a turf war that, given they were trying to import hand grenades, would result in innocent people being hurt or even...
So he just plan. What? So he's just planning to help a gang out. Transport hand grenades and guns.
killed. The police took all Theo's computer and phone stuff away after they arrested him, and after going through everything that...
Bro was planning a talk of his... Bro was talking about gaming and then he got arrested for... I'm joking. I imagine like planning with the boys. Hey boys, tonight or in the future we're gonna raid this base, alright? Gonna get some firearms and like, we're gonna farm that material, and then the police, hear it from the other line. Yo, him and the boys are planning some terrorism. And they're actually just playing like a video game.
was on there, they found all kinds of chat logs relating to this plot.
They found a Discord chat too. Oh, he's cooked. He's actually cooked. He's probably just talking shit with his boys and then like just joking around, and then they found the Discord chats and then arrested him. They found the Discord chats. It's over. Bruh, they're like 17-year-old boys. What do you... Discord, of course they're gonna do that. Of course on Discord they're gonna talk. Let's do this. Let's do that. Let's, like one of my mates used to say, "I'm gonna shoot up." Like literally, one of my friends would be like, "Yo, I'll shoot up like a school." About what? That's crazy. But obviously we're all just joking, chilling, right? I literally have that video too. I actually have that law video there as well. It's just so the Discord chat, right? They found the Discord chats of the boys just talking shit.
The solicitor Mom hired said the fact a bunch of older guys had groomed him into doing it would work in our favor, as like a mitigating circumstance. But Theo would have to tell the judge how sorry he was, how foolish he'd been, and how he was committed to changing his ways and bettering himself for the future. It amounted to groveling for mercy, but anything to get time off of Theo's sentence, right? Well, wrong. Because even though it meant going to prison for many more years than he would have otherwise, Theo refused to play ball. He pled guilty, but refused to make any sort of statement showing remorse for what he'd been planning to do. And then since he was sentenced when he was 18, he was sent straight to an adult prison after the court proceedings finished.
Okay, so just straight to jail. I don't. The context is there, right? But what is he charged for? He's charged for planning to help a gang. What gang? How is he gonna? All he talked about was he's gonna pick up a shipment and deliver it to the gang. What gang? What shipment? Shouldn't you be chasing after the source instead of the guinea pig? Because he plans to be a guinea pig for a gang. So shouldn't you be arresting the actual gang members? You know. You're saying that Theo is talking to his mate saying, "Oh yeah, once I get my driver license, I'm gonna help you guys move the drugs and the guns and stuff, right? I'll do that once I get my license. All goods. Appreciate it." So, and then I guess they searched up as, "Oh yeah, he's gonna help him out of jail." But he's not. He's just a guinea pig. He's just a delivery boy, right? He's not even he's not even the king of the. He's just helping deliver the stuff. Shouldn't he be chasing down how that gang's gonna get the stuff? Because they're arresting him for under suspicion of planning, right? He hasn't even done anything. Matter of fact, he hasn't even got his license yet, and you're arresting him because he said in the chat logs he's gonna, once he gets his license, he's gonna do the delivery work.
Dad went to see him while he was still on remand because the magnitude of Theo's offenses meant he couldn't get bail.
I don't get it. I don't get it. He's all he did was plan.
He gave him some big speech about how he needed to cooperate as much as possible because he could end up ruining his entire life over one stupid mistake his younger self made. It sounded like Dad practically begged him to accept all the prosecution's offers regarding cooperation.
I don't think his dad understands that if he does that, the gang's gonna get him and his family. I bet the gang was like, "Yo, Theo, you better shut up. If you don't shut up, we know where your sibling, we know where your dad, your mom, and your sister lives. All right, Theo. All right, you stay quiet now. All right. Once you grow up, we'll take you out back into the gang. All right, but Theo, no tittle-tale to the gang. No tittle-tales to the police. Don't throw us under the bus either, or you'll die, or your family's gonna die, Theo. So just shut up." That's probably what happened to Theo. That's why he's not cooperating, because he knows that the gang's probably just gonna get his family if he doesn't cooperate.
But still, Theo refused to play ball.
Yep.
The solicitor said it was possible that the gang Theo believed he was a part of had promised all kinds of rewards for his loyalty.
And probably reward and probably safety for the family as well, right?
Meaning if he kept his mouth shut and did his time, he'd be richly and lavishly rewarded once.
He would be rewarded for loyalty, and his sister and parents would be alive without any problems. If he started talking, sister's gone, parents are gone, you know? And once he gets released, he's gonna get targeted and died anyways, right? So I could understand Theo's point of view, POV, right? It's like, I don't know how much you associate yourself with the gang, but obviously you probably wouldn't want to tittle-tale, because if you do, you're gonna get targeted by the gang, and so is your family. Right? But then again, like, if the police are that investigated, shouldn't you be targeting the gang itself instead of just the delivery boy?
He got out. She told Dad that for the time being, Theo was probably being supported in prison by the gang's network, which was split between those in prison and those on the outside. It had given him the impression that he'd made the right decision and that the support would continue, whereas in reality, it had waned over time before disappearing completely. And after that, if Theo tried to leave and he had enough incriminating information in his head, he'd be killed. Dad tried telling him all of that, but it was no good. Theo had made his mind up, and to the gang, loyalty was everything.
True.
And that was the last time he and Dad spoke. Mom's been to visit him a few times, and it never ends well. She cries when she gets back, and while me and Dad try our best to comfort her, it never seems to do any good. I've written to Theo a few times, quite emotional stuff it's probably best I don't go into, but you can probably imagine what it consisted of. I've never heard back from him, and even if we do talk again in the future, it won't be with a Theo that I miss. The one who was my little brother and who always had the brightest of sparks about him, even if he was into some dark stuff. Now, I don't even know who he is anymore, and like I said, it's like my little brother just disappeared.
So his brother's just in jail.
That I woke up to the sound of this terrible crashing, or to at least keep them from. A load more ran up the stairs, away with my mum crying and being. It looked like they were brother. Was why they'd felt it was necessary to know, so it really did feel like the words alone knocked the wind out of it. But then they did, and stood under suspicion. Up to alone knocked the wind out of us, because Theo had been arrested under suspicion of planning the importation.
He's arrested for the planning of importation of dangerous drugs and arms. But then, he planned it, or he's just planning to be the guinea pig for the gang? Because it sounds like from the rest of the story, sounds like he wasn't planning. It sounds like the plan was already written for him. He just had a job to do. So, the police would obviously go for the gang instead. And arrested him. It is what it is, right? Can't do much about that, I guess. I mean, hey. It is what it is. Now, what do you learn from that story? I don't know. It was just kind of interesting to talk about, right? Something to talk about. So, yeah, brother just joined it. It really depends. Because it's kind of like, you know, gangs are probably just created anyways. They're not even real. That's it, huh? That's it? Well, anyone else, what else would you say about that? It's kind of just is what it is, right? Honestly, I thought he got arrested for Discord chat. He was arrested for under the suspicion of planning, but it really doesn't sound like he was planning. It's more sound like he was just gonna be a guinea pig for the gang. Obviously, the police would probably crack down on the real gang. But at the same time, as we know about the no light without dark situation, the government can probably easily get rid of gangs, by the way, I'm just saying. Government can easily do that. But in order to create a yin and yang balance, the government will on purposely leave some gangs alive and running and allow crime, because when it comes to the yin and yang and the no light without dark, in order for some to have peaceful, we need some crime, right? So governments can easily crack down on gangs like in 1 week, done, right? But they actually on purposely keep them alive just for the yin and yang purposes. That's literally the reason. You know, you would say like, how come there's still crime every day, or like, how come there's still bad stuff happening? But in reality, it's because we need both of them for the balance. You know, we need some dark with the light. We need some dark with the light. Which is which? Who knows? But end of the day, it is what it is, right? All right, ladies and gentlemen, hope you guys enjoyed that little 39-minute talk. All right, get you guys next time. All right, I got a lot of videos to do. Matter of fact, why don't I show you guys? Why don't I show you guys what's happening over here? Oh yeah, the Da Vinci. This took so long to do, by the way. Yeah, got the aberration episodes done. There you go. Yeah, so it should be pretty good. It's finished exporting. Now I really just gotta sort out the files, you know? Gotta sort out the files. I think all of this is copied anyways, right? Skip these files. Alright, so that's done. There we go. Got the T7. Oh, should probably save the VOD now. See you guys next time, alright? Bye-bye.